live in front of you, trying to build something interesting. In the previous video, I was looking at how to create the table for job candidates. I've created this table and I can cross this off. Uh, now, now the next step I want to do is I want to show it on the front end. So right now it is present in the back end, this job candidates table, but I want to show it in the front end. There are multiple steps for doing that. Let's look at it. Create data table for front end, flow to select candidates. So create data flow for front end, that should be possible. So this should be possible. What do I have to do for this? I have to again create a card with data table. So go to ChatCN and learn about data. First of all, I have to create a card, and with that card, I will have data table inside, or I can directly have a data table. That is also possible. So, yeah, let's look at data table and columns. What can I do here? I can reduce or increase columns. This is great. Everyday data table or data grid I have created or data grid I have created has been unique. They all behave differently, have specific sorting and filtering requirements, work with different data sources, and work with different data sources. It doesn't make sense to combine all of these variations into a single component. If we do that, we lose the flexibility that headless UI provides. What is headless UI? Headless UI is this library by 10 stack table. Headless UI is a term for libraries and utilities that provide the logic, state, and processing and API for UI elements and interactions, but do not provide markup, styles, or pre-built implementation. Stretching your headless UI has a few main goals. The hardest part of building complex UI is usually revolve around state, events, side effects, data computation, management. By removing these concerns from markup styles and implementation details, our logic and components can be more modular and reusable. So basically, headless UI is you uh, you get the benefits of pre-built components, but you're not bound by the implementation details. Now I want to build a table. So let's go back to the table. I already have a table and I can use this. I can use a basic table. I just need to define the columns, and I need to I already have a data table created. I just need to share the columns and data with it. Okay. So first, create data table for front end with dummy data. I'm going to create a simple data table for the job candidates table, and I'm going to put some dummy data in it. For this, I have to go to, first of all, I have to minimize this. Next, okay, in source, job page. Here, first of all, let me format the document. So this card is fine. This gives the details of the job. Now, next thing I want to do is I need to have a data table. Is this data table. Why is this crying? It needs columns and data. Columns. So for this I have to define a file inside this. I'll call it candidate candidate columns dot tsx, and this I'll paste the columns data. So what all am I going to show? I'm going to show the name, I'm going to show what all am I going to show in here? I'm going to show name, feedback, video, and booking. So name, feedback, string, hmm. Or maybe I'll just have an ID. Okay, I'll just have feedback, string, status is not required. Feedback, video, string, booking, string. This is name, name, feedback, hmm, feedback, video, video, accessory key, booking, header, booking, comma. Fine. So now I can go to, let me call this candidate columns, and this is good. Now come here and say columns is equal to candidate columns data is equal to this. So empty array. Let's go back to the document. I need to give a heading here. Uh, div h1 candidates. Button. What is the button called? on child as child, uh, link add candidate at giraffe. Okay, now all I have to do here is class name, flex, and what else? Uh, Space between. Let me go to say job page, justify between items entry. Just copy this, save this. Yeah, so candidates, add candidate. So this is looking good. Now I have to do couple of things here. When I click on add candidate, I should get a list of candidates in a pop out, and I should be able to add them. I'm not going to filter me data right now, but I should be able to. Now next thing I want to do, what was my detail? So create data table for front end with dummy data. This is done. Now what else I have to do? Add the flow to select candidates. That's the flow I need to add, and add the flow to add candidate. Add candidates. So I need to have a pop-up in which you can do two things. Either you can search with the email for the candidate. If the candidate is there, you can add him. So when you click on this add candidate, a pop-up should come, and in that pop-up there should be a search button uh, for searching for the candidate, or there should be a form to fill to add a new candidate. This form will be similar to the previous candidates. Okay, this is a complex. This is a complex piece. This is a complex piece. I want to have a pop-up window here. Let me write down what I want. Flow to add candidates. Um, Add a pop-up window with option to to search for a for an email or to create a new candidate. How am I going to do this? Let me think creatively. So, uh, hmm. I want some space on the top. So, if I go here, I class name margin 4. We do this. No, margin 4. Margin y4. imagine. What auto px mx. So I'll just do mt4. Save this. Yeah, fine. Now, how do I create that pop-up? It's a multi-step pop-up. So let me look at the pop-up details. Uh, Pop over. Open pop over. सो रही है कर दो आप पे जाके. Okay, so that's it for this stream. I will again come back in some time for the next stream.